What's going on, everyone? I'm the OPJellicent, and I'm battling here for week number 2 of WPL season number 9. My opponent this week was LatiosAzurill, coach of the Philadelphia Froakies. I've known him from the WPL for quite a while. We've had some great matches in the past, so it should be a fun time taking him on again right here. Let's go ahead and talk about team preview, starting things off with my Tornadus T, which is actually a taunt set with Z Focus Blast, which can go ahead and prevent rocks from Pokemon, such as the Mega Aggron as well as the Donphan, and wear them down with the all-out pummeling. My opponent did also have a potential Porygon too, so that was another Pokemon that could go ahead and 1v1 that. My Keldeo right here is a Toxic 3 attacks variant with Hidden Power Psychic and Dual Stab. My opponent did have a potential Toxic Rogue they could bring to this game, so I wanted to make sure I was not completely walled, since Secret Sword only does like 30% right here. Hidden Power Psychic can almost OHKO it, so that's great. My Reuniclus is actually a Calm Mind Acid Armor variant, and I know I say all the time I'm very much against bringing bulky setup Psychic type Pokemon because it's so easy to just get hacked out with them when you're trying to set up. However, my opponent's roster does not have a Dark type Pokemon, and I figured let's test the waters and see whether I can get a bit lucky right here and whether Reuniclus can go ahead and win. But if it doesn't, my Entei right here is back up with the Choice Scarf right here. If I can go ahead and get up rocks to pressure these fire types as well as wear down the Donphan, Choice Scarf Entei can go ahead and sweep late game with the Flare Blitz. So that's the primary game plan right here in case the Reuniclus does fail us. My Mega Tyranitar is actually a really fast set right here, just to make sure I can go ahead and outspeed Cresselia before it subs up, and it has Toxic on it, with the Stealth Rocks and then 2 attacks being Crunch and Earthquake, so it's really my Cresselia counter. I do actually have enough defense to go ahead and sponge a +2 Life Orb Plera for Mimikyu as well. And then finally Fortress, which is actually my primary Mimikyu switch in. However, it is also Custap Berry with the spikes right here, because if I can spike stack with the rocks, that'll really pressure the fire resist. So let's go ahead and see what happened. I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Keldeo right here, as my opponent leads off with the Mega Aggron. Turn 1, I get a bit lucky right here. I do get a nice Secret Sword crit, which does put this thing in range of my Entei guaranteed. However, my opponent does stay in the next turn anyway, so I will be able to sponge this Earthquake thanks to my HP investment, and I will be able to pressure them out. I know this thing is coming in, so I just go for Surf for a bit of extra damage, but it doesn't really matter right here because I can get in my Mega Tyranitar, as my opponent gets up a Calm Mind right here, so they're pretty much going for game. Whoops. So pretty much what they're trying to do right here is go for game with, I'm assuming this is called Calm Mind and Moonlight, and then maybe like Psyshock and Moonblast, but I'm just going to go ahead and Toxic it right here, as I can go ahead and wear it down. This is great for Keldeo as well as Entei right here, so I can follow this up with my Stealth Rocks. It's just getting pressured right now as my opponent does go for the Moonblast this turn, which is perfectly okay. I can just go ahead and crunch it this next turn, and that pretty much eliminates Cresselia as a factor because it's pretty much out of the game right now. It can't Thunder Wave my Keldeo, it can't Thunder Wave my Entei later in the game, although I doubt this was what the set was. I doubt it was just Moonblast and then Thunder Wave, so that thing is now dead, which is absolutely amazing. Donphan is going to come in right here, and this kind of sucks because I'm going to take the Psy Shard, Toxic this just to go ahead and wear it down for my Entei. However, my opponent can actually Rapid Spin this next turn and knock me out while getting rid of my rocks. So that really sucks. My Rock Setter dies to Rapid Spin, but what I can do right here is actually get in my Reuniclus, and this right here is why you don't bring this set. I get knockoff crit right away, and I actually make the wrong play right here. My thought process was I was very much anticipating like a specially attacking fire type to come in, whether it be Victini or the Volcanion, and I wanted to Calm Mind on that. However, taking a knockoff crit right there sucks, but I should have Acid Armored first. However, what I can do is save the Reuniclus for Death Fodder and just go ahead and bring in my Fortress. Rapid Spin right here, as the Donphan will be dying to the Toxic damage. So that's great for my Entei right there. However, not having rocks up is really bad for, you know, just the Volcanion and the Victini being so healthy. My opponent goes for Bolt Strike. I guess they expected my Keldeo to come in. However, what I can do right here is bring in my Entei and go ahead and click the Stone Edge right here. I wasn't anticipating the Mega Aggron to come in, and because I'm Choice Scarf, even if this was Choice Scarf, which I never confirmed, I can go ahead and knock it out right here. Mimikyu is going to come in the next turn, and getting rid of that is so good for Keldeo as well as Entei right here, so I'm going to break the Disguise because I'm really expecting this to either try to set up whether it's Trick Room or Swords Dance, and then this turn what I can do is go ahead and sack off the Reuniclus. So here what I'm going to do is bring back the Entei because I can take a Shadow Sneak and knock it out with the Flare Blitz, which is great for me right here. So that's going to go ahead and go down. The crit doesn't matter, obviously. That's Adamant Flare Blitz from Entei. Victini is going to come in next, and here what's going to happen is I get a little bit lucky and dodge a Bolt Strike. So I'm going to pause it right here and just talk about that scenario. Had that Bolt Strike hit, what would have had to happen was I had to switch out after sacking my Entei off into Tornadus and hit a Hurricane. This thing would have been in range of my max special attack Hurricane, and then what I could have done was just gone ahead and had a hit, this would go down, and then I could go ahead and use my Fight Z on the Entei. However, since that missed right there, what I can actually do is try to go for Stone Edge, which is more accurate than Hurricane, by switching out right here and bringing in my Tornadus, sacking that off to the 2 Bolt Strikes. I know for a fact my Entei can live a Bolt Strike, so I can bring that in right here, hit this thing up with the Stone Edge. I know for a fact that the Aggron cannot come in with Spikes plus Stone Edge, so I will be able to thankfully hit into the Victini, and then finally, the last Pokemon is going to be the Mega Aggron right here, which obviously I have a Keldeo in the back. I will switch out for the Differential since it's only week number 2, and I can go ahead and hit this Mega Aggron up with a Surf for the game right here. So that's going to be a 2-0 win. I'm really glad I didn't have to risk Tornadus hitting Hurricane due to the Bolt Strike miss, because my Hurricane accuracy is so bad. So that was definitely nice, and that's going to be the game. So another great game to LatiosAzurill right there. A lot of our games are usually like this 1 or 2-0s, and this was no different. So that's great. Next week I take on Luxan's coach of the Lilycove Lopanico, so that'll be interesting. And I'll see you all then. Later.